Hey everybody. Well, I'm out just checking some trees today. We've had a great summer for growing trees. Lots of moisture. We had about a 3-week dry snap. But then after that, no, this last couple days we've got about a little over 1.5 inches of rain. So obviously the trees that we've planted are doing very well. But I'm checking on some hybrid poplar cuttings I did. I just wanted to show those quick and also just talk about a easy way to grow trees if you have access to hybrid poplars. Let me flip the camera quick. Alright, so in this area I planted some hybrid poplar cuttings. Now here's one of them. To plant hybrid poplar cuttings, so these were free trees to me. What I did is I went to the neighbors where they harvested some hybrid poplars, and I went to the new growth that came after the harvest, probably second year of growth, and took 2-foot cuttings, sunk them 1 inch deep. So I grabbed that new growth. I took a 2-foot cutting of that new growth that was probably 1/2 to 3/4 inch thick, and stuck it. I scraped along one side of that new growth, about 12 inches of it, and stuck it in the ground. So the scrape part stuck in the ground, obviously nodes up. You want to make sure that the nodes are facing up, not down. And that was it. And that was how I planted the hybrid poplar cuttings. So hybrid poplars have natural rooting hormones, so you can plant them via cuttings. Now here's one thing. So I did tube this one right here. So now it's past the point of a deer being able to browse it. It'll probably even put another foot of growth on, I'm guessing, this summer. The ones that I did not tube are, the deer killed a lot of them, because if they hit them in that first year when they're trying to establish that root system, if the deer browse them hard, they're going to kill them. But the ones that I didn't tube, that did make it past the deer, are still in that probably 3-foot stage. So there's one right there. Let's see if we can find the cutting. So odds are the top actually probably rotted off, but this one was planted via cuttings as well. But what I've noticed is those first couple years, they say trees sleep, creep, and leap. The first couple years, they really don't do much as far as growth. They'll put on a couple feet of growth, but I think they're really focusing on putting that energy in the root system and establishing that root system. But by year 3, they really start to jump. So this one I think was like a foot tall this year. I just found it, put the tube on it, and it's grown, a good 5 feet this year. But this is a year 3 cutting. So if you're planting them, and you're planting in an area with heavy deer numbers, I would advise putting a tube on them, because I've tried the numbers game, and I do have, if I walk around, I can find more trees, but it's just going to take a lot longer for them to get going, and you will lose a ton of them to deer browse. And the only one I found that actually has outgrown deer browse pressure is this guy right here. I don't know why I planted it right next to the spruce there, but this one's already got a pretty good young trunk on it. You can see the cutting right here, but it sprouted right off the top of the cutting like would be expected. Sometimes they do sprout from the base too, but I like to have that 1 foot above the ground to kind of stay above the weeds. And I've got a good healthy tree. But if you're doing this, you can try the numbers game and just go for as many as you want, and just expect a good amount of them to die from the deer browse. But otherwise, if you want to expedite the process, I advise just making sure you tube them, because when I walk around, like here's one right here, that's going to get hit this winter by the deer for sure, because they love browsing in this area. I do think the deer in this area don't browse these trees quite as hard, because there is so much other woody browse in here. I've planted in areas that are more open. In those areas, if I don't tube them, the deer pretty much kill them all. But the deer have other options in this particular area, so it helps to take the browse pressure out. But here's another one, and that one's only 2 feet tall at most. And the deer likely will hit it. They seem to select the hybrids pretty heavily. I mean, they do love box elder. That's one of their favorite browse trees, on our farm at least. But these young hybrids do get hit. So anyway, if you want free trees and you have access to hybrid poplars, planting cuttings is a very easy way to plant hundreds of trees in literally a span of a few hours. And yeah, they are a nice deer species in my opinion. And now that we have some that are established, once they get to maturity, if we cut them off, they will prolifically stump sprout, and we'll have future trees for future cuttings available to us for future potential plantings if we want to add some more hybrids to the farm. All right, I think Noah's getting a little impatient, so I'll cut this video off. But yeah, this is just a very sweet area on the farm. We got a lot of good early successional vegetation coming up. All right, y'all, take care. God bless.